going to be my X-Wing Wave 10 video. Gencon just is going on right now, and Fantasy Flight just announced a lot of stuff, but among those was X-Wing's Wave 10, or Wave X, or X-Wave for X-Wing, or however you want to call it, but it's just Wave 10. Very cool. It's only 3 ships, so that's the first time we have seen 3 ships in one wave. Now, some people think that there may be some more stuff eventually coming. Maybe some stuff coming out or revealed on Force Friday, or for Rogue One, but nothing from Rogue One yet. But now we've got basically some Force Awakens stuff. We have for the Empire, we have the Upsilon class shuttle. Upsilon class shuttle, or Kylo Ren's shuttle. So this thing is huge. It's ridiculously huge. It looks like it does actually have folding wings, or at least partially mobile wings. You see there's a photo somebody snapped in one of the cases from Gencon where it shows the wings completely straight up, but in all of the other pictures you see the wings out to the side like it's in flight. So it looks basically like the wings can move. So it's very cool. Now this thing is a large ship. It's got 4 attack, which is, it's crazy. I think we are starting to get some power creep in X-Wing. 4 attack is huge. It's got a single defense die, and then 6 hull and 6 shields, so it's very tanky, and it's really not that expensive either based on what we can see. It looks like the cheapest pilot might be 33 points or less, so you might be able to fit 3 of these 4 attack ships in one build, which is going to be insane. But we don't know for sure yet, so we're still a little bit speculative on that. Now, this is the first ship that has one of the new conditions for this wave, or the new types of cards. It's called a condition, and these conditions are persistent effects that will last throughout the turn. So we've got one called I'll Show You the Dark Side, and I'll Show You the Dark Side basically is a way for you to kind of pick which crit is going to happen next on a ship. And that's kind of how some of these new conditions seem to work. It looks like each ship has one, but this is the one that they've really kind of shown us the most of. It looks like there's another one in here too. It looks like we have a General Hux crew in here. And it looks like he has one. You can see Fan and Dev, so I'm thinking it's Fanatical Devotion, and it looks like that's what General Hux is going to have. And they each come with different tokens to represent their, the condition and who you're putting it on. So that's good. Some people are not crazy about that, but it's something new, and I think it's an interesting way for you to get some new effects into this game. We also have we also have Kylo Ren crew, and Kylo Ren as a pilot in here. The funny thing here is I don't see Captain Phasma, and as soon as I saw the shuttle, I thought for sure we were going to see a Captain Phasma crew, and there is no Captain Phasma crew, so that makes me think that we are almost absolutely going to see Captain Phasma fly something in episode 8. Alright, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think Captain Phasma's being deliberately omitted from this so that she can be in something else? Because this is the ship that she didn't fly down on those little troop transports. She flew down on this ship. So I would think that they would have her, and I think she would be on this. We also have, for Scum, we have the Quad Jumper. Now the Quad Jumper, if you saw Force Awakens, you'll know that Rey and Finn were running to a ship that was supposedly a fast ship, and then it got destroyed by TIE fighters. We never actually got to see it do anything, and then they eventually took the Millennium Falcon instead. And much to the advancement of the plot, everything was great. The Quad Jumper was the ship on Jakku. Now we have seen this. Now I've seen this ship in Disney Infinity, and I didn't think we would see it in X-Wing because at least in Disney Infinity, it had no weapons. It was a gunless ship. Although in this game it has 2. It has 2 weapons. So it's 2250. It has some new crew. Unkar Plutt is a pilot for this ship, and he's got an interesting ability of whoever he's touching, he puts a tractor beam on. So that's pretty interesting, and especially with pilots with his lower pilot skill, he can potentially bump into 1 or more ships even, and probably just one, but it's a great way to him put a tractor beam on somebody without having to even attack them. He looks like he's a bomber, so he's got he's very cheap as well. You know, being 0 shields, 2 agility, 5 hull, he's probably gonna die kind of quick. But they all look like they'll probably be under 20 points. So or maybe, you know, Unkarplet's at 17. So this is going to be a cheap ship to be able to do some interesting stuff with. Maybe it'll be a kind of a support bomber. We've got there's also a condition here called a score to settle, and that it looks like it basically makes, when you put it on another ship, anybody who's attacking that ship gets to turn at least 1 eyeball into a crit. So that's really good, especially for a 2-attack ship. And if you were to use like Z95s and other 2-attack ships, that was going to make their attack power dramatically more effective. If they get a free focus basically every turn, so they can use their focuses for defense. And it looks like it comes with tech, illicit, bomb, and crew. And that's actually something else. I didn't talk about the crew for the Upsilon class shuttle, and it's a double crew, which is you know, not great because it's another opportunity for the Emperor, but it's also a double tech. Now, we haven't seen a double tech yet. We've seen very few techs to begin with, and it comes with a few of its own. But it's very interesting that this thing comes, you know, with a double tech. So there's going to be all kinds of configuration ways to set this up, and it has what looks like, I'm thinking, a system. It's either a system or a cannon. It's a little too blurry for me to see right now, but it wouldn't make sense to put a cannon on a 4-attack ship. But maybe if you wanted to do some kind of stress or ionization or whatever. But I think system, that would make it kind of strong. I don't know, maybe it is a cannon. But if you can make it out, if you know what that extra symbol is on the Upsilon class shuttle, let me know. But back to the quad jumper, it looks like it also has, the quad jumper also might have a backwards maneuver. One of the reference cards starts with the word reverse, so people think it might be reverse thrusters. Wow, imagine if this ship can move backwards. That would be something else. So what do you think about the idea of a ship finally moving backwards in this game? Some people think it's too much like Star Trek Attack Wing, but I don't mind. I think there's nothing wrong with the ship moving backwards, as long as it's very limited. Like if it's only one ship, you know, and it doesn't become like it's all over the place, then I'm sure it'll be fine. Although it might be weird if you're going to be a bomber and you move backwards, because you could effectively bomb yourself, right? You drop your bomb and then move backwards right onto the bomb. I don't know. I don't see why you'd want to do that, but maybe if you're just trolling somebody. Okay, so the third ship we have, the Rebels have Sabine's TIE. Now this is the TIE fighter we saw in Star Wars Rebels. It was a single TIE fighter. Sabine had repainted it. Not really crazy about the idea of the Rebels getting a TIE fighter. I mean, if we're going to be borrowing ships, I want the Rebels to get a Lambda shuttle so we could get the Tidarium long before the Rebels get a TIE fighter, of all things. Especially something that was only featured kind of anecdotally in one episode. But I will say this, it looks awesome. I mean, look at the paint job on this. This is probably one of the best paint jobs I've ever seen. It's fantastic. It looks really, really good. Now it's definitely got some new things to it. One thing I want to talk about is in the preview art, you can see what appears to be Ahsoka flying the TIE. So that's very cool. And we also have Zeb too, and maybe a captured pilot or something like that. There's a couple of cards that come in here that look like they start with captured. So that's interesting. So you're like basically you're stealing or holding the rebel pilot at gunpoint, saying, you know, you're gonna fly the ship for us or something like that. So Ahsoka pilot, very cool. Happy to have Ahsoka in X-Wing now, and I can't make out her full ability, but I'm imagining it's some type of support, something that affects other ships. So maybe she'll function similar to like how a Howl Runner would function. Now you've also got a title for Sabine's Masterpiece. Now this is a unique title. It's only going to go on this TIE, and it can add the crew and illicit slots to the TIE fighter. Now that's pretty significant. It's pretty significant because, like, you know, illicit on now the Rebels can get illicit. You know, in another way, like, you know, we already kind of see it coming with Heroes of the Resistance, but only for large ships. So now it's even another way for Rebels to get illicit. And adding a crew to a TIE fighter is pretty interesting as well. So I'm more interested in the illicit right now, because illicit can give you a stealth device. and that's something the Rebels couldn't have gotten before. So now everybody can cloak, right? Every faction now has some cloaking capability, although it's restricted. You can only do it once per faction if it's not the Imperials, and it's the same card. But that would be kind of interesting, and especially if Ahsoka does function as some kind of support role, maybe you do want to cloak her as much as possible. I mean, that would be a 5 agility ship while cloaked, so you could, we're setting new and give her stealth device, and then hide at range 3 behind an obstacle, and you're really getting, and then Zuckuss attacks, and now you're out of dice. You need to go borrow somebody's green dice, so that's pretty interesting. So what we didn't see. Let's talk about what we didn't see with Wave 10. We didn't see any Scum Epic ships announced. Kind of upset about that. Was really hoping to see a Scum Epic. We also didn't see anything else for Scum as far as like Aces or Veterans Pack for Scum. I think these things are coming. Don't give up on them yet. They're almost inevitable. Especially, I think last year they said that their attention was being drawn towards ships that didn't make an appearance at Worlds. Like I think the M3A was one of them that didn't show up there. So they know, and the Star Viper, they know some of these ships need work, and I think it's inevitable that they're coming. They're just not coming quite yet, but I think they absolutely are. And the other thing is, I think a Scum Epic, while not, we don't know for sure that they're going to do a Scum Epic. Some people love Epic, some people don't really love Epic. But Jabba was just kind of released in the latest Imperial Assault announcement. And so when in a very Jabba the Hutt centric expansion, I think it's absolutely likely that now the door is open to bring Jabba into X-Wing, and the only way you're really going to do that is through an epic ship, maybe the Star Jewel. I'm still kind of got my fingers crossed for Talon Card, but that is probably going to have to wait until at some point in Rebels Season 3, because if they're doing Thrawn in Rebels Season 3, then maybe they can bring in some of the other stuff from Heir to the Empire. I don't know if they're going to do that yet, but I would love it. I would love to see Talon Card and Mara Jade as a pilot, and Pelion, and a couple of other things. But I don't think we'll see everything. Maybe we will, though, and that's the beauty of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been my episode 10 kind of rundown. I mean, episode 10, my X-Wing Wave 10 rundown. Episode 10. Episode 10. Well, I wonder what that means. All right, so thank you guys so much, and as always, comment, like, and subscribe, and thank you guys. Have a great day.